Okay, you guys, let's shift over and talk about the Kirby and the Forgotten Land video game I've been playing on the Nintendo Switch. This was a really lovely and cute surprise, a very nice distraction from some of the horrible things that are going on in the world. This is a Kirby game that lets you play in full 3D, which is most welcome. One of the things that I always say about the Kirby titles is that this is a character that's unbelievably malleable and also provides a diverse assortment of ways to enjoy his adventures in this robust catalog that has existed for many, many years. And this is the first time that we really get a much more open and free-form sense of being able to explore these 3D worlds that are crafted for us. You also get these big mouth abilities, and you can see a very cool one here where you can kind of transform into this glider and fly through rings like you're playing Superman 64 or something. But there's lots of other different ones as well. I did love basically he has this giant ring that he can big mouth around, and he can blast out some air, and you could do cool things like hop onto a boat and then blast your boat forward to go through giant ice walls or something like that, and push windmills around. This is a game that is constantly, like the character himself, changing things up. The mechanics are changing, the dynamics are changing. You have the copy abilities that Kirby always has in his titles, and it's extrapolated in some pretty wonderful ways. One of those ways is the fact that you can actually unlock these cool blueprints by finding little secret areas and cool discoveries like this. And the blueprints you take back to the sort of main hub town, and you can upgrade these different weapons, these different copy abilities that you pick up. And so you can cruise around and go in front of a copy ability that you want to evolve, and you spend some of the coins that you make, and you also collect these star gems on these evolved versions of these copy abilities. So you can see there's a really nice kind of RPG growth system built into this wacky platformer that is most appreciated. It's really damn fun that you can have that. There's also a huge assortment of interesting boss characters that come out in kind of, quite showy ways. We've got this lethal leopard where she pops out with her claws flashing, and every one of the bosses fights you a little bit differently, and of course you're using all of the abilities that you pick up, all of the copy abilities, and you're earning new ones on a constant kind of pace, which makes things very fun. One of the other big mouth abilities that you have is you turn into this pseudo water balloon, and you can blast, like Super Mario Sunshine style, all of the goo that might be obstructing some of the things that you need to knock out. And once you do that, of course, you're going to get rewarded with little secrets and surprises. Lots of fun things like that. You're trying to rescue these Waddle Dees that are scattered throughout each of the main sort of levels that you go to. And it is stage-based. It isn't sort of like this open-world experience where you just, meander and then you keep opening up new areas and you keep exploring and finding. You go specifically from this stage to that stage to this stage. It's a little bit like Super Mario 3D World. It's a little bit also like the Sackboy adventure that came out at launch with the PlayStation 5. And that's cool. I mean, there's a familiarity to that structure, and it feels very comfortable and very well tuned and paced as well. And you're also going to find nice, delightful surprises like being able to take control of a car using your big mouth abilities. And sometimes you'll get into giant races and stuff where you're trying to beat the clock and there's traffic on the road and you've got to jump over obstructions. And, there's a little bit of challenge in this game. It's not an incredibly difficult game, but there are moments like this where you are on these sequences called treasure roads where you've got to make specific jumps with very precise timing, and the clock is constantly ticking down. So these are sequences where, whoops, you might have to try it again. Not too many sequences like that in the game. For the most part, this is a pretty straightforward action-adventure platformer. It's also cooperative, so if you've got a younger player in the house that wants to play with you, you can do that, which is kind of cool. And then one of the things that happens as you clear the stages and you unlock all of these Waddle Dees and you save them, Obviously, you're trying to clear as many as you can and find as many as you can. It's a little bit like the Astrobot game in VR, which I thought was pretty cool as well. You get these gacha balls, which are little sort of amiibo-like characters that you can have into your collection, but also it takes a certain amount of Waddle Dees for you to unlock the final stage and to encounter the bosses and to keep progressing. So there is an impetus there for you to keep going back into these stages and not only get the amount of little characters that you need to keep going further, but there's also all kinds of secret areas and lots of little surprises and rewards for doing things properly. And what's counter to all of the sort of the main stages are these treasure road sequences where you've got objectives. It's almost like Metal Gear Solid VR missions, which they're kind of tailored specific to the copy ability, and you get to the end and you get those stars. Those stars come in handy, though, as part of your upgrade path, so it's a pretty big deal. And, you know, the level design is actually, it's very tuned and it's clearly tested and polished by the developers. They went over it and over it and over it. You can absolutely feel the amount of attention to detail and the love that went into them. But there is also a nice variety. You're going to get kind of jungle foliage and destructible environments, and you're going to see a lot of sort of destroyed beauty. It's post-apocalyptic, which is weird for a Kirby game, but it's not all sunshine and roses. There's a lot of destroyed buildings, and you're going to go underground. There's frozen areas as well, and you know, you're going to be encountering bosses that and enemies that sort of take advantage of the environments as well. Everything is super cute, but it's also, you know, surprising and delightful and addictive. There is, you know, if you've been playing games like this for a long time, there is absolutely an element of the game kind of playing itself. I don't think that the game aspires to the heights of something like Super Mario Odyssey. Definitely not a Breath of the Wild type of experience. It's not like a complete reinvention of the idea of Kirby. It's a great transplant of the 2D Kirby mechanics that we've known for decades now into a solid 3D construction, and it's fun to play. I mean, that's the core of it. It's super fun to play. It's super fun to keep unlocking the stuff and finding the secrets and fighting the bosses, and then you can go back and find all of the things that you missed in each of these stages. And then there's cool things too where you might hop into the water and you might have to avoid some of the whirlpools and stuff. And there you can see that you can't jump super high. There is like this invisible ceiling where Kirby can float, but he can't float super high. But in the water, I thought it was really sweet is you get like a little tiny life preserver every time you jump into the water. And if you have the bombs, because one of your copy abilities is the bomb ability, you'll actually throw a bunch of bombs, and each of the bombs will have its own little life preserver as it's floating down the river. I mean, there's all kinds of cute little elements like that. It puts a smile on your face. It's absolutely adorable, and it's super fun to play. It's a success, for sure. I don't think that it's a holy crap, I've never seen a better game on Nintendo Switch success. I don't think it sort of reaches the greatest heights that the first-party Nintendo stuff can hit, but it's definitely a worthy pickup, particularly if you're a Kirby fan, or if you love action-adventure platformers, or if you just love cute. If you love cute, you're going to be right in your wheelhouse. And also, this is a great game to introduce to younger kids and other members of your family that are kind of new to games as well. So lots to enjoy here. I do wish it was a little bit more challenging in some ways. Maybe they could have done a little bit more with the types of collectibles, because the gacha collectibles are nice, they're cool, you can look at the 3D models and all that stuff, but I don't know, it feels like there could have been a little bit more reward there. You're going to obviously see lots of familiar characters from the Kirby lore, and maybe some characters you've seen in Smash Brothers franchise and other titles like that. I do think it's a success for sure, and it's certainly one that I would pick up, and I think if you hit all of those quadrants, you like cute, you like platformer action games, you like the Kirby franchise, you're going to be right at home with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.